Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. André Cardoso here. Thank you very much for being here as always. Today, 11 December, the first day of the week. This is Monday. Let's cover a couple of charts. I have a list of a couple of them to share with you. Between the DXY, the euro, the dollar CAD, the euro versus the pound, we have also some of the euro crosses, euro Aussie, euro New Zealand. Then we will cover the pound versus the Aussie, the New Zealand, crude oil. Of course, we will talk about that after crude oil, SPX 500, and the German DAX. We will cover that also with euro Aussie crosses. So let's start with the DXY. In fact, I was checking the euro dollar. Let's talk about the DXY. Previous resistance level, we have a fractal at 104.21, and we have a most recent fractal resistance at 104.26. So we see some resilience for the DXY to break above this resistance level. So we need to recover above these fractals in order to provide more momentum to the upside. But this is in fact a pressure zone for the DXY. I admit there will be momentum to the downside. Of course, if you have expectations for the euro dollar for a bounce, which is our case, we will expect momentum or at least a pullback on the DXY. The reason why I'm expecting that momentum, that retracement or pullback for the DXY to the downside, it's this bullish shark pattern that we projected last week at 107.51 or 107.50. Previous fractal resistance from the start of the month of November, acting as support. We have a new fractal support at 107.23. That being said, I admit the possibility for the euro versus the dollar to create kind of an attempt of a recovery after the recent fall. That being said, I will expect, of course, the contrarian move with the DXY. I will expect a retracement or a pullback for the DXY. Depending on that, we have also the dollar versus the Canadian. We pointed out these patterns projected at 34.92, and at the end of the last week we started to track these potential inverted edge and shoulders pattern formations. We have the left shoulder, we have the head, and eventually we are talking about the right shoulder formation. Of course, we need a violation of the resistance. Only that should trigger the pattern, and only that should trigger momentum to the upside. Until then, I admit more momentum to the downside for the pair, specifically if the DXY starts to push the dollar pairs down. I believe the dollar CAD will also face some significant pressure. Depending on that, of course, the WTI, the crude oil is already facing the golden Fibonacci extension 755. We pointed these Fibonacci extension levels, both the golden Fibonacci, the 161.8% Fibonacci extension level, but also the 224% Fibonacci extension. So we are facing the golden Fibonacci level. I admit if the dollar starts to trade lower, that may push the dollar Canadian down and the crude oil should start to bounce. Even though if that doesn't happen, we will see crude oil trading much lower. 67, it's the price that I pointed last week. Euro versus the pound. Let's talk about some of the euro crosses for now. Fractal support 85.53. So we are now threatening this consolidation process. So we are inside this kind of a sideways moving process, right above the golden Fibonacci extension. I was expecting a major bounce towards the previous support level. If that doesn't happen, we will probably see the market trading much lower, and then I will pay attention to 85.05. So this is my price zone for the euro versus the pound. I want to see this bullish shark pattern extended to the 224% Fibonacci level, and that may offer me a nice attempt and nice risk reward attempt to try a bounce. Euro versus the Aussie, the same may happen. We have a nice fractal support at 64.52, so this is acting as a resistance. Actually, we have a new fractal at 64.29, the intraday resistance and the intraday support at 62.90. There are other patterns projected below. Actually, we have the golden Fibonacci projected at 1.60 basically. If the price can't find support above this daily fractal and start to recover higher, eventually it will be forced to break the support level, and if that happens, we will see we have the potential move towards the golden Fibonacci level. At this point, I will not be surprised to see the recovery above the previous support level, and if that happens, that should trigger also, let's point to the previous resistance. I don't want to say the channel resistance, but at least to the fractal 166.65. So this is the daily fractal resistance for the euro dollar. Even though we need to wait for the breakout, or let's say the recovery of the previous fractal support, the weekly support, or the breakout below, or the violation below the fractal support, the daily support, and then a move to the downside should be expected. The SPX 500, of course, most of the times inverted with the euro versus the Aussie. We are trading above the previous fractal resistance. We are trading above this structure, this kind of a flag pattern, kind of. We are trading above this structure. We need to see the price coming down or recovering that same structure in order to provide more downside momentum. We have this bearish shark pattern completed at 45.83. Actually, I have a trade open for this pattern. I'm still waiting for that pattern to react accordingly. Of course, some of them may fail, and if that happens, I will exit my trade as soon as possible in order to prevent major losses. We already understand how the market, how the pattern behaves, and if the pattern invalidates, we don't need to force or try to hold the pattern. It's already invalidated. Even though we're still holding this one inside the risk reward ratios for now. Let's wait and see. The German DAX, huge recovery for the German DAX, one of the most amazing recoveries I have seen, not only for the German DAX, but I almost bet for my entire career trading the markets. It's already 11, 12 years already facing the markets, one of the most amazing recoveries for the German DAX. Even though we are facing a strong resistance, we have the previous fractal. We are trading a new higher high, so we're still facing this previous monthly fractal at 16,534. So I will not be surprised to see a retest or an approach of this fractal resistance again, the previous highs, or eventually even a retracement below these levels. We have also a 5-wave structure to the upside, an impulsive momentum to the upside. In my point of view, this is the 5th wave, where the 5th wave is equal to the first one, so that points to this 16,600 level. We have new higher highs, 224% Fibonacci extension, and this is relevant because we are also facing a bearish shark pattern completed at the 224% Fibonacci extension level. So this is a huge pattern, a huge expectation for that pattern, which means at least a retracement to the 38% Fibonacci, which means a 4.8% retracement. We never know how the market will react. I'm not expecting that reaction to happen in a very short period of time. Eventually we will see the market extending in time and trying to retrace towards these levels, but we never know. Even though we have the pattern completed right above, just 1 point or 2 points above the 224% Fibonacci extension, we have the new fractal resistance at 16,799. So this is the new higher highs for the German DAX, but we have also that bearish shark pattern, which may suggest a move to the downside. Look at this bearish divergence that we have. All this momentum, all this recovery was printed inside a huge and strong bearish divergence, and the market never drop. So attention with this. If you want to try an attempt to, I'm not saying to reverse, but an attempt to retrace or a deeper pullback, pay attention to your position size and your risk when facing these price structures. Let's move forward. Euro versus the New Zealand. Also a nice bounce actually for a new fractal support at 74.63 after threatening the violation of the monthly fractal. So we still inside what we may consider a consolidation box or a consolidation period. Actually, we have kind of a descending parallel channel starting to unfold. Let's wait and see. Nothing very specific to say at this point. We have a pattern projected a few points below the new lows. I will wait for the 73.67, 57, 224% Fibonacci extension of the last swing high, the move between support and resistance level. I will wait for that pattern to form. Pound versus the Aussie. We pointed out this head and shoulders pattern before last week, but there's one thing that we need to consider. Well, first of all, we have the bearish outbat pattern. Let me try to put my Fibonacci levels here. Somehow they disappear. So we have this extension level, the 113% Fibonacci extension level, acting as element of resistance. So this is a completion point of a bearish alt-bat pattern, and that pattern should target the 38% Fibonacci level. Okay, so this is the 184.23. I still expect that pattern to move towards these levels, or the price to move towards these levels based on these basic, let's say, the bearish alt-bat pattern. But then we have also the head and shoulders pattern, and the head and shoulders pattern, we have, for the head and shoulders pattern, we have a target a few points below at 80.46. But one thing that we need to consider, it's the time to form, the period of time to form the left shoulder when compared with the right shoulder. And as we can see, and actually we can do a small exercise here, we can pick the, let's say, all this neck, all this left shoulder, as you can see here. Let me change the color to red. So we have kind of the left shoulder when compared with the right shoulder. It started to extend in time. So which means the probability for that head and shoulders to unfold starts to diminish, starts to decrease. It's still possible. We need to wait for the breakout of the support. Only a violation of the new lows will unfold or will favor that move to the downside. At this point, we're still inside what we may consider a consolidation period between fractals. We have a new fractal resistance at, actually we have a daily fractal resistance at 92.29, and we have a new fractal support at 89.68. So pay attention to this. Actually, let me delete these internal or those intraday fractals from here. This two fractals, these daily and daily fractal support and daily fractal resistance, those are the levels I think we should pay attention to. A violation of those fractals should trigger moves or to the downside or above the resistance. We need to wait for that. I'm still waiting for, as I said before, 1.8423. So this is my level where I will start to partitioning my trade. We have a position from these highs, so we're still holding that one. And to finish, let's go to the pound versus the New Zealand. Also inside here, what we may call a descending structure, so we still kind of a descending channel, not a parallel channel, but we're still trading inside this structure. We have patterns at 2.0182, so this is the first one that we should pay attention to. If the price starts to trade lower, it looks like it's starting to approach the resistance level. Any attempt to break the resistance should trigger an attempt or a retest of this previous resistance level. So if that happens, of course, that pattern starts to vanish. But this is a resistance element, so I will not be surprised to see more downside from here. And if that happens, then we will pay attention to the pattern starting to unfold below the support levels. Don't try to anticipate those moves before the patterns occur or the patterns form. So let's wait for the patterns first and react accordingly. When I said we are facing a strong or a potential resistance or element of resistance, because I admit there will be a lot of traders trying to take advantage of a move to the downside from this trend line resistance, but it can fail, it can break above, and it can trade higher. Pay attention to this fractal resistance. A violation of the fractal should trigger a move to the downside, a move to the upside. That being said, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I just need to wish you all a beautiful week trading the markets, disciplined, focus, and all the luck out there. See you in the next video.